Sean Price got on the record and he did the introduction. He was like, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you live from Kingston Ave. You couldn't be a hustler if you wasn't a certain type of person. I've always been in survival mode. I can't sing or nothing, but I'll be singing the shit out of some songs. When things happen to me in my life, I seen who was really there for me. The bond is stronger. Wait, that's what you call strength, man. Yep.
There is no complaints. There's just head down, be the artist you want to be, and deliver the goods.
When Sean told me he was having a daughter, and I was like, "What you gonna name her?" And he was like, "Sean Price." Like, the fuck you think I'm gonna name her? Your titties is too small to be fucking with a bitch in the bill with big balls, no pause. I never let nothing stop me. I just kept going.
Over 20 albums deep, mentored by the one and only Sean Price, signed to Duck Down Records, label mates with a long list of big players, and let's not forget an MC that's made it clear through his work that he's not here to play games. But before we begin, please subscribe to the channel, click the bell to receive the notifications, like, share, and get involved in the comment section below. And now, on today's DocuChat, we have from Crown Heights in Brooklyn, New York, the king of the crown, the indestructible, the James Brown of the underground, Ruste Juxx. What's going on, bro?
What up? What's going on?
First of all, thanks a lot for coming down, man. It's like, you know what, when I got
Thanks
the call.
for having me.
Oh, bro, you know what, when I got the call from my man Detonate saying, yo, I can get Ruste to come in, I was like,
yeah.
You know what, let's not play games, let's just make this happen.
Yeah,
so,
man.
I appreciate you being here.
Thank you, man.
First of all, do you want to just tell people why you're in the UK, and then we can go on to your story?
Well, I came out here. I was first booked for with the Full Blast movement. We did 4 shows from Bristol, Bournemouth, Kingston upon Thames, and what was the last one? Northampton. And so, you know, I built a tour around it. You know what I'm saying? I performed in Prague. Then after this, I'm going to High Wycombe, Romania, Germany, and Moldova. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm doing out here. Just, you know, getting the 2024 tour get started.
Just for clarification, like you did this all yourself. You hooked it up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you no agents or anything. So you're showing people what's possible if you push.
Yeah, it's just I just manifested it. You know, I just put it out there on the internet like, yo, you know, I'm gonna be out there in Europe, you know, so promoters hit me up and let me know, you know what I mean? And so, you know, they just emailed me and asked me my price, and you know what I mean, we just made it happen.
Like, before I even start the interview properly, I just want to say, like, look out for his performance, man. Short, sweet, but murdered it. Okay, so look out for that. Right, so before there was Ruste Juxx, there was Victor Evans. So tell us a little bit about
always Victor Evans, but yeah.
But you know what I'm saying, that was there before, right? So tell us a little bit about Victor Evans before Ruste Juxx even came into existence.
You know, I grew up in a single parent home. You know, my mother and my sister, rest in peace, my sister passed away. But you know, I grew up in Brooklyn, Crown Heights. I was born in Bed-Stuy, then we moved to Crown Heights, I think around when I was 3 years old or 4, like that. And you know, I went to the public school, the junior high, and the high school in my area. And you know, I became a rapper, became an MC. I fell in love with hip hop early in my life, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I always been like a class clown in school, you know, stuff like that. But always an all-around good guy.
So what was it like in Crown Heights?
Oh, it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough, man. I had some good moments, but I think the rough times outweighed it. But you know, it shaped and molded me to the man that I, you know, grew up to be. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't change nothing.
There's a song that you've had out recently,
right?
With the Bootcamp Clik.
Right.
And it's called What You Call Strength.
Exactly.
Right. And in that, you're talking about like basically slapping people up and whatever in their own neighborhood and with their own weapons and whatever else, right?
Right.
I mean, does that kind of define the area that was the kind of shit that was going on?
Yeah, definitely. You had to be tough to survive in that neighborhood, like, cause at any time, you know, I had a lot of fights. I lost a lot. You know what I mean? I won some. But you know, it was just you just had to stay in your ground in order to maintain your and to get through. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was. But it was still a good place, man. It was, you know, it's family oriented, and you know, it's changed now. You know what I'm saying? And if I wouldn't have did everything that I did and went through what I went through, I wouldn't have the respect that I have now. You know what I'm saying, in my neighborhood, because like, you know, everybody loves me, man. I know everybody. People that I had big problems with, everything is smooth now. You know what I'm saying? So
But
it's
that
good.
comes with age, right? Growing
Yeah,
up,
yeah, yeah,
maturing.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
can you imagine another person that's where you were 20 years ago and they're going through the same thing now,
Yeah.
and 20 years later they'll be telling the same story again. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
because
rough
when it
there.
was going on, and you know, you wouldn't see that it would be like this later, but you know.
I know people kind of say it's a generational thing, but it's not always a generational thing because everyone goes through it. And
Yeah.
you know, sometimes you look at some of the youngsters now and they think they're going through it worse. They don't realize how
Right.
bad we had it.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty bad.
Because we grew up in hip hop, right?
Yeah.
So we were hearing some of the stories, people getting shot and stabbed and whatever
Right.
else, and it was all going on. How much of that transferred into the music side of things, in your opinion? Or did it come from the music at all?
Yeah, because I think people was, you know, they write about the things they see in the environment, the things that they go through, or the things that they're doing. I'm 46 years old, and I used to rhyme about a lot of different things when I was younger. But now, you know, everything that I'm saying now is I call my style like the hard body hip hop, and you know, it's mostly about killing MCs and, you know what I mean, beating up rappers like on a lyrical tip.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not really about shooting up, and you know what I'm saying. I got a lot of songs that I talk about black power, and I talk about peace within my community. So you know what I'm saying. It's just more. It's just hard. It's just hardcore hip hop.
I'm glad you said that though, because
Yeah,
that is basically what I was trying to get out of you.
yeah,
Like without
yeah.
me saying it, you said what I wanted, which is basically
Right.
that this is a musical thing. If you're a battle MC, you just want to smack every
Yeah, yeah. I
competitor
mean,
out the way.
that's the era I come
Yeah.
from. You know
But
what I'm
it doesn't
saying?
necessarily mean that you're there going pistol whipping everybody.
Yeah, no,
That's not
I'm
what you
a
mean.
family man. I raised my children. I'm with my wife 21 years, and you know, I make music.
Are your children into your work?
Nah, my oldest son used to be into it. He used to be my hype man for a long time,
Okay.
but you know, he chose to do other things. But you never know what happened with my younger ones. You know what I mean?
Were you disappointed when the older one kind of walked away
Nah,
from it?
nah, I wasn't disappointed. I mean, because they're not me. You know what I'm saying? And then it might be some big shoes to fill. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to do that.
Do you think that maybe scared him away from the music side of
It
things?
might be a little bit, but I don't think it was really for him like that, like it was for me. You know, because my story was totally different, and the way I grew up loving hip hop is not the same. That you know, he grew up listening to hip hop, but it wasn't the same for him. You know what I'm saying? Like I really loved it, and then what really made me want to be an MC was my uncle. You know, my uncle inspired me. He was I think 1990 he came living to live with us for like a year or something. And when he came there, he had like composition books full of rhymes. And you know, he never recorded anything. You know, he was like in and out of jail at the you know, before then. And so, you know, I just memorized so many of his verses. I still got to memorize to this day. You know what I'm saying? My Uncle Ray, rest in peace. And you know, I looked up to him. You know, I didn't have a father figure, so my uncle was the one for me. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I wanted to be like. So that's what I did.
He had a rap name as well, didn't he?
Yeah, rated R.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
do you
yeah.
think that was inspired by Rakim by any chance?
No, no, it was just that his name is Ray. His name is Ray Charles Evans. So he just called himself Rated R.
Do you know the reason why I asked that?
Yeah.
Is because
And my
obviously,
name is Victor Ray Evans, so I'm named
okay,
after
all
him
right.
too.
But the reason I asked that is basically because Rakim often refers to himself as the R. Yeah, and in
Yeah.
one of his songs
Well,
it says he's
he was
rated R.
rapping before Rakim was out.
Okay, and he had his name
Was
before?
Yeah, he had his rap name since he was probably a teenager or something, but he probably was like in his late 20s when when he came to live with me.
Because in one of your tracks you mentioned about 48 tracks to slide, which is a Rakim lyric
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
I'm a big Rakim fan, man. From the beginning. Like Kane, Rakim, G-Rap, and KRS One was like the forefathers for me.
Amazing choices there.
Yep.
Aliases, you've got a number of aliases.
Yeah.
The one that kind of stands out to me is Rated X.
Well, that was one of my early rap names because I went through a lot of rap names before Ruste Juxx, and so that was my first one because obviously I was trying to be like my Uncle Ray, Rated R, Rated X. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? So that's where that came from. Yeah.
There's another artist, another MC that I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
Right, and he has numerous aliases. Right, so I'm wondering if you were at all inspired by him, or it was just like a name here, a name there for different reasons and whatever. But
Right.
the guy I'm talking about is Kool Keith,
Oh,
Ultramagnetic
yeah,
MCs.
I rock with Kool Keith and Ultramagnetic. I bigged them up in a song, paying homage to all the like rap elites. It's a song called Rap for Real. And I was like, Ultra Mag had me ego tripping. The big homies, pigs try to put them below prison. And so I was always into them too. But that's not what gave me the inspiration to have alias. I just came up with different ones at different times, like
So
you said.
why was that?
Cause that's the thing that MCs do. Like some MCs, I seen they have a different aliases. Different times in my life, I thought about things like that. Like at one point, I was saying Vic Flair. I was a big wrestling fan.
Yeah,
You know what I mean,
Ric
like
Flair,
Ric Flair.
obviously, yeah.
And I was always was coming up with just different names. My rap name was Vic Funkster for a long time. That before I became Ruste Juxx, and that was what I was known for, like in the streets, from block parties, battles, and ciphers in the street. I was Vic Funkster for probably like 3 years, and then one day I just changed my name.
So it wasn't like, you had one name for one girl, one name for another girl.
Nah, I was just going through stages in my life, and it was just evolution.
So what is the meaning behind your name that you have now that you use on a regular basis, Ruste Juxx?
Ruste Juxx, man. Well, Juxx is like, that means like a robbery, you know what I'm saying? And Ruste Juxx, man, was like, you get stabbed with a rusty blade, you know what I mean? That's deadly, you know what I'm saying? So I just thought about that name. It was Ruste Juxx, man. And later on, I left off the men and left it as Ruste Juxx.
So
Yeah, I was just thinking of one day I was sitting on the steps. I was thinking of a rugged name to come out with, you know what I mean? Something hard. And that's what I came up with. I was just writing different, names in my book.
at this point, I just want to say a quick message to my cameraman. If ever you get pissed off and you want to stab me, don't stab me with a rusty knife, all right? I need a clean knife,
Yeah.
okay?
Well, you need a clean blade.
Yeah, clean blade.
Clean blade.
When you were rapping in the early days, I'm guessing you were still at school?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
what was the
definitely. I
reaction?
started rapping at 12, so I was like, I don't know, what was that, 6th or 7th grade, something like
Okay.
that.
And what was the reaction from the other kids? Was there envy,
At
love?
first, I wasn't that good. I remember when I was getting good though, because it was a rap group in my neighborhood. The older dudes was rhyming, and they called themselves Brooklyn Zoo, and TF Together Forever, man. And it was a few different groups like solo artists that got together and formed a group. There was Double Jeopardy, Roger Rab, rest in peace, Roger Rab. And my man Flaws and Bernard. So, they all got together, formed a group, and I looked up to them too, you know what I'm saying? So I remember when I started getting better, and they accepted me as one of the young MCs, like, yo, he's dope. And also when my uncle finally was like, yo, because he was telling me in the beginning, like, I don't know, like, you got to keep writing. And one day I seen it in his face. He was like, yo, my nephew was nice. Like he was telling his man. And that's when I knew I had it, man.
So how did that make you feel?
I felt real good.
Was there a different feeling between your friends accepting you and your uncle accepting
Well, my uncle's acceptance was more powerful for me, you know what I'm saying? Because he's the one that inspired me.
When you were doing your thing in the early days and you started recognizing that you were good, did you kind of recognize there was a potential for a career there? Because a lot of people give up.
Yeah, no, this is what I wanted to do. Once I started rapping, I knew this is what I wanted to do. I wasn't thinking about no type of job, no career other than hip hop. Yeah.
So again, you manifested it. You pursued it, made it happen.
I was like, I gotta do this.
Now compare yourself to the person that you are where you are now. What would you tell that kid then?
I wouldn't tell myself anything, man, because I loved the process that I went through and everything. I wouldn't even change nothing.
Was there any highlights that you feel that led you to that moment where you kind of felt like, okay, this is serious now?
I've always been serious about it. I was recording in so many different studios with so many different artists and producers, and until I finally made it to wax. You know what I'm saying? I was doing it for years and years and years. I started working with this manager, my man Errol Mack, and I was doing showcases, and I had about like few singles out on on 12-inch and everything, and his family with rock. And so he was like, yo, I want to introduce you to Helter Skelter, see if they working on their second album. And this probably was like 96, 97. And I was like, hell yeah. I was a big fan of Boot Camp Clik at that time. Like ever since Into the Stage, I was locked in. You know what I'm saying? Then The Shining with Smith and Wesson and Helter Skelter. So I was like, yeah. And he brought Sean Price around my way and introduced him to me. I used to live on Kingston and Bergen, and between St. Mark's and Bergen. And that was it, man. Once I spit for him, he loved it. And I was just connected with the camp from then. Like he brought me into the group. Like, he brung me around, and I started hanging out in Cephalo Projects, with them in Brownsville. And I started going to the studio sessions with them. And this was the first time, I've been in so many studios, but this was the first time I was in the studio with actual artists that had music out and had fan base and, independent label. And so I learned a lot from them, man. And I was able to get featured on the second album titled Magnum Force with the title track and another song called Gangs All Here. And then I just kept it moving from there.
So Magnum Force, was that the first time you hit the studio to record that on a professional level?
Yeah, on a professional level, yeah. Because,
that was the first one.
Yeah.
Explain the feeling.
I mean, I was on cloud nine for probably about 2 years. I was the first time I recorded in D&D studio. After that, it was Duck Down did a compilation album called Duck Down Presents. And this was the first time I got paid to do a song now. I did this song called Live the Life, and it was recorded already in a home studio, but with the producer, Jannard. And so then I guess Sean Price let Drew High hear it. He liked the record, and so he wanted to put it on the compilation. So that got me extra hype, you know what I'm saying? So then when we re-recorded it at D&D studio, and I was up in there, I was seeing Premier come in, Kid Capri, and I was just like, oh shit, like, it was just crazy, man. So I re-recorded it on my 20th birthday. I remember that. It was on my birthday. And then Sean Price got on the record, and he did the introduction. And he was like, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you live from Kingston Ave. He's like, Ruste Juxx, my road dog. And then I start spitting. Niggas want to live the life, scared to die to death. And then he put his his character at the end of it. He started joking. He was like, yo, he started rhyming, and then he was like, nah, I can't even touch that, man. Like, you killed this so hard, you know what I mean? And that was the stamp right there.
How old were you when that happened?
I was 20 years old.
And to get that kind of appraisal from the man himself.
Yeah, that was, just listening to that record right now, it's like, wow.
I'll be interested to find out how you're feeling as you're talking about it now, taking you back to that moment, knowing this is a guy that helped change your life.
Yeah, he changed everything, man. Like, I had never been on a tour before. I was doing like local shows and stuff, and he took me on tour with him, and all over the world, man. This is the first time I got my passport, and I was just going all over the world with Sean. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing how the fans loved him, like, you know what I mean? It was serious, man. Like, the Sean Price fans, this is not a persona that he gives. This is really Sean, you know what I mean? So they loved Sean Price, man. And just to see that, how he dealt with promoters, and, I just learned from him. He didn't have to, teach me something. I was just watching him and just being there, you know what I'm saying? And my stage show got sharper, and my discipline for this hip hop was, got stronger.
Tell us a little bit about the character that he was that maybe the people don't see because they just see an artist rapping and describe the character that he was. Yeah.
Sean was he was very smart, man. He was an intelligent person, man. Like, he read a lot, you know what I mean? He knew about almost anything. Like, you could talk about sports, or you could talk about politics, or just the streets, you know what I'm saying? Like, just life in general. And he was so funny, man. Like, he was a hilarious person, you know what I mean? And his type of wit, you had to be intelligent, like, cause his snapback, his comebacks is quick, like, you know what I mean? After a while, you don't want to have too many back and forths with him. You just leave it alone, cause he have the whole room laughing, you know what I mean? And he controlled everything. Like, if he get in your car, he's sitting shotgun and he's playing his music, and everybody's gonna like it, you know what I mean? That's how he was. Like, everybody, he gonna make you bop to it, just the way he, you know what I mean? He was larger than life, man, seriously. And he was a big brother to me, like, real, like, without hip hop, he was my brother, man. Like he looked out for me, and you know I owe him a lot.
You know, I find like with characters that are big like that, I find a lot of people misunderstand him. Did he ever go through any kind of misunderstandings of people kind of accepting
I
who he
think if
was?
he was a scary dude too. Another thing, you know what I'm saying? Like so,
So you
if
couldn't
anybody had
misunderstand
any
him.
problems with him, it got nipped in the bud pretty quick.
What, just with a look?
Yeah, or whatever, or slap.
So
Like
was
Sean
he?
Price was serious,
All
man.
right.
Like he could be dangerous.
What about boot camp Click? Tell us a little bit about like your connection from the beginning to where you are now, and
Yeah.
you know how it's evolved, the evolution of it.
Yo, man, boot camp, they a bunch of legendary MCs, man, that they made a great career and they continue in the movement with it. You know what I'm saying? Like Smith and Wesson is touring all the time, still putting out music everywhere. And you know, like Steel is my big brother too, man. Rock too. All of them. You know what I'm saying? Tech, they all good guys, man. Good family men. And just all around dope MCs.
Name me some of the MCs that are on the label on Duck Down.
Well, I don't know if everybody is like signed to Duck Down. You know, like I remember they, you know, that's what it was initially, but it's not like you see I got 5 albums with Duck Down on Duck Down label, but I was never signed to them like an artist and that's it.
And you're still
Like
not
I
signed?
just do, yeah, I just out of my 24 albums, 5 is on Duck Down. And I always sign a contract for that album alone. You know what I'm saying? And so then I'm free to do other things. And you know, they still look out for me throughout the years. Like I get, you know, I put my videos on the YouTube channel, you know what I mean? And that's a big help, you know what I'm saying? Like their fan base is crazy. And you know, so I'm not like signed to the label, but that's my family. You know what I mean? Shout out to Drew High, shout out to Buckshot, James, you know what I mean, Noah, you know what I mean? It's the family thing.
I read somewhere that you know you had people like KRS-One and Be
Yeah.
Real and all them involved as well. So to what extent were they involved?
I don't really know. I don't know their you know situation and their deal with Duck Down because I just know that I seen different albums from different artists like you know they had connections with like Joey Badass, Young and May, a bunch of different groups, man. Like you know Buckshot dealt with a lot of artists, but I don't know personally like how the situation came about or whatever.
What does that kind of freedom allow you to be?
It's allowed me to do whatever I want to do and put anything out when I want to put it out. You know, so I love that, man. I love the independence of that, and I don't have to be, you know, stifled. Like you know what I'm saying. Whenever I want to drop a single or collab with a different artist, I don't have to ask nobody. I just do it. You know, and that's what I love about this new age with the internet right now. Like you could just. And you know, I started shooting my own videos. I got my own studio, so I just be working.
What's your studio setup?
I got my studio in my closet in my apartment, and I've been doing that for years. Like I just moved. I was living in the Bronx for 12 years. I just moved back to Brooklyn, and I set it up again. And you know, once I sent it out to get mixed and mastered, you would never know. You know what I'm saying? It's perfect.
But you know, that's how we began. Like, if I tell people like our early records that we were making, it was literally just one guy just independently doing whatever he was doing on the SB12.
Yeah.
It wasn't even the 1200 back then. We only had the
Right.
1.2 second sample on it. You know what I mean?
Right,
And we had to
right,
chop
right.
everything up and get it all together. But yeah, it all started with that little like 4-track or 8-track, and look what we achieved.
Yeah.
Give us an example of one of the tracks that you've done that was recorded in your
Well, I
cupboard.
recorded a few albums. My last few albums I recorded in my home studio, like James Brown of the Underground, produced by Amadeus 360, the B King, Sulfuric Acid, Impervious Alliance with Detonate. Just a lot of
Detonate. Do me a favor.
Yeah,
Just run into shot for a second just so people can see you, and then.
Absolutely.
All right. So anyone, just wave at any of them. Yeah. So that's Detonate. All right.
Yeah.
So make sure you check out the album with Detonate.
Yeah, that's
Ruste Juxx as
everywhere.
well.
Spotify,
Okay.
iTunes, everything.
Who's released that? Is it yourself?
We
or-
put it out. We just put it out. Yeah.
Okay. So just amongst yourselves.
Yep.
You know, you said like in the current age with the internet and everything. How's that working for you?
It's working lovely, man. I love it. I can't complain about it at all. I love it.
Give us an example of some opportunities it's created.
Well, just like creating the tour, you know, by just posting it and it comes in. Or either I post about, like, my thing is, my biggest hustle is doing collaborations. Like, I collab all the time with artists from all over the world. And so all I got to do is put up, you know, mean 16s, contact hardbodyhiphop@gmail.com, and I make a lot of money throughout the month like that. Like, people just hit me up and they be like, yo, how much you charge? And I want to get you on this song. And then now I'm shooting videos too. So I shoot my part for the video, send it to them and get it edited up. Or either they'll come, I had people coming from out of town, they come all the way over here to shoot the video, like from Europe to, you know, Connecticut to wherever, you know, they come out here and shoot, and I'll shoot the video. You know, I have my son shooting, my youngest son, Boogie. And, you know, so it's a big hustle. I even put out an album called International Juxx, where artists paid me to be featured on the album, and the producers too. And the producers is from all over the world. The artists is, and they all rhyming in their language. Like, I have a song with a female rapper from Lebanon, and she go by Malika, and then a UK rapper called Cyrus Malika, and you know what I mean. And then they shot their parts where they live, and then I shot my part. We put the video out, the album. You know what I mean? It's just lovely, man.
So how does that work in terms of quality? Like, because obviously you're going to film.
If you see the video, it's a good quality video, top quality. I mean, and I shoot right now. I've been shooting. I used to shoot with cameras, but now I'm using my iPhone.
Oh, so everyone's
I'm
using
with an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and I got my gimbal. I got the Osmo Mobile 6, and I get busy.
Do you have to kind of tell everyone, look, I'm filming with my iPhone, you need to do the same so we keep the quality the same?
Or long as they got a good camera too.
And what if they haven't?
Well, they didn't get one.
Yeah, but it's either that or you get a different rapper.
I never had that problem though. Some people, they always find a way to get some good quality camera.
You mentioned your email earlier, just a second ago. Do you want to mention the email again if people want to contact you?
Yeah, it's hardbodyhiphop@gmail.com, and it's HARDBODIE hiphop@gmail.
And for what reason do you want people to email you?
To book me for shows, for hosting, for ghostwriting, for if you want me to do a full song to your track, or 16 or a hook, you know, whatever.
When you were growing up, you had loads of artists. I'm sure where you come from, everybody pretty much wanted to be an artist, right? So what made you stand out to them? Like, because there must have been a lot of local.
Because some people just want to do it for right then, like it's a phase. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know a lot of dudes that they like, you know, yeah, I stopped rhyming. I ain't, you know, it wasn't really in them to keep sticking it out. You know, I hit rock bottom a few times, and I was still like, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do. And you can have people in your ear telling you you're getting old, or you know, whatever, your time has passed, or you know what I mean. But I never let nothing stop me. I just kept going. It was just, this is what I'm gonna do, and this is what I do. Till I got to the point where I didn't have to work no more. I haven't worked probably over a decade and some change, probably 15 years or something like that. You know, this is what I do for a living.
And that's the difference between a phase and love for something.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why people like us are still here, 40 years deep, and we're still here.
Exactly.
I mean, like, you know, if I felt like if I was born in America, in New York, for example, then I would have been into this from when I was 2 years old or something.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I was into it like 4 or 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Duck Down. I read somewhere that their name was derived from BDP.
Probably is, because I remember the KRS sent with the duck down, that song. Yeah, so it probably did. And I know Buck, that's they partners, him and KRS. They got an album together, so you know, I'm pretty sure that's his idol too, like mine.
Talking about KRS, are you competing with him to see who can do more albums?
Never. I would never compete with KRS. I would only want to collaborate with KRS.
He's got, what, 25 albums or something like that? 21, 25 albums?
Yeah.
You got the same. Like, how are you recording so much and never losing the love for it?
Sometimes while I'm working on one project, I'm working on like 2, 3 other projects. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how it just kind of works out like that. Some years I drop 2 albums, some years I drop 3.
Do you ever get to a point where you're kind of like, I've started that one, you know what, I don't know where to go with it now, so I'm going to start another one. And then by the time you come back, you're completely forgotten what you were on. And
Nah, it's always some type of concept, or and especially if I'm when I'm working with the producer or another rapper, they always on me about like, yo, we gonna do the next one, we gonna do this. So I'm always like, thinking all over the place. Like I got a bunch of stuff I got to do right now that has deadlines, and what I mean. I'm trying not to miss it and stay on top of everything.
you said something else earlier, which is really important. That,
Yeah.
for the last decade or so, you've been able to earn off of this. And
Yeah.
that gives you the freedom to be an artist.
Right. Right.
A
Right.
lot of people don't have that freedom because
Yeah,
they got
because if
day
they start,
jobs
if
and
they just be like, I'm not making no money off of this, so why am I still doing it? And then other people are looking at you too, like, yo, you're not making no money off this, so why you still doing it? You know what I mean?
and how difficult
Stuck
was
with
it to
it.
get to that point though?
Very difficult, but you just got to stick it out if that's what you want to do.
I'm sure at some point you must have been like, I can't do this, I can't carry on, and because we
I
all
never
go
thought
through
that
it.
I couldn't do it. I just was upset that I wasn't making what I wanted to make off it, or I wasn't at where I wanted to be at in my career. I just got upset about it, but I never had the thought like, that's it, I'm not going to do it. I can't see myself doing nothing else. I can't, I was never a company man, you know what I mean? Like every time I had a job, I thought this is what I'm going to do for right now to get through. But, you know, if I get somebody want to take me on a tour, then that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna quit this job.
The difference between success and failure is your willingness to want to carry on no matter what.
Yeah, me and my wife, we've been through rough times, and then we've been through the good times, so she know.
What I'm
Yeah,
saying, that self-belief is so important.
yeah,
And you
very
obviously had
important.
that,
Very important. Yeah.
right? You obviously had that. Where did you get that self-belief from?
I don't know where I got it from. I guess I've always been in survival mode. I guess from growing up in Crown Heights, you know what I'm saying? I've always been in survival mode because I've always been the smallest guy, and a lot of people had big families, and you know what I mean. I was getting jumped here, doing. I was always in survival mode, and I was the oldest, so it was just me and my sister, and so I had to be the man of the house early. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I had to do. So I'm just still like that.
Decepticons.
Yeah.
That's a name that we heard back in the days and everything as well. And I know a little bit about the story, but I don't know much of the story. I know it was a gang, and they
Yeah.
used to do a lot of muggings and stuff.
Yeah.
Were you ever not part of it because you came a little bit later, right?
No, but they was out long time before I met boot camp.
Right.
So but I never joined the
Okay. But what do you know
Decepticons.
about the story though?
I just know that they was serious, man. Like they had a reputation.
Okay. What was that
it
reputation?
was it
What was the
was
reputation?
always, you hear about it's a lot of them. Like, cause I'm from Brooklyn, and I travel. Brooklyn is probably, I don't know if I think it's the biggest borough in New York, but I might be wrong. But it's a whole lot of different parts of Brooklyn I used to hang out in, not just Crown Heights. I used to be in Bed-Stuy, Brownsville, and it was different Deceps everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I knew a lot of people that were Deceps. You know what I mean? And they was a serious crew.
And that lasted what, 10 years
I
before?
mean, they still guys that's decent right now, but they grown men, they older and stuff, so it's not like active. You know what I mean? Like the younger guys started coming up into the gang. So it's pretty much everybody that that's alive right now that was Decep. They still Decep. They say it. I know a lot of good brothers, man. Like the boot camp. A lot of them is Decep.
What I was trying to lead to is like sometimes your life starts off someplace, but then from that you meet like-minded people, and then you start realizing you got talent, and then you put that whatever you got into something else, and look at what's
Right.
come out of it.
I mean, people would know about them in the streets and everything, but as far as the rap industry, boot camp brought that to the forefront. You know what I'm saying? And it was really a bunch of brothers trying to survive and sticking together. That's what it was. You know what I mean? They was a strong unit, and that's what made boot camp.
And that's benefited a lot of people that came in after as well, not
It's
just.
like me.
And they've sold millions of records around the world as well over the
Yeah,
years.
and they still packing shows and doing it.
What kind of audiences turn up at the shows?
It could be young crowd to the older, to in their 40s or in early 50s. You know what I mean? It's fluctuates. It's all over.
Okay, so it's translated over the years as well.
Yeah, definitely. And
'Cause, you know,
it's worldwide. Like they've been to places I never been, you know, and I've been a lot of places.
what kind of venues do they perform at? Are they performing at smaller venues, larger venues?
Small and large. Like it's all the time. It could be one day you see them here with, you know, they could be in SOBs, which is a good spot to be in the Forest Hill Stadium, like at Rock the Bells, you know what I mean? And
What's the capacity there?
I don't know, I think it was about 30,000 or something like that. It was serious, man. It was a lot of people, something like that.
I have to say, LL is one of those guys, man. One of my biggest inspirations.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so it's beautiful to see him doing these things and like,
Hell yeah.
you know.
I was walking around starstruck. I seen Run. I seen a whole bunch of people, man. I was like, God damn.
Oh, you never seen him before?
Yeah, I never been to one of their shows, you know, but I've always been a big Run DMC fan too.
But I would have thought that you not being too far from them at
A
some
lot of
down the
people
line.
think that New York, if you New York, you would know all the New York big rappers, but I don't know. I didn't see, you know, a lot of the, I'm just blessed to know some of them personally. Like I know, you know, Master Ace, we cool. Every time I see him, he's a great brother. Craig G, Big Daddy Kane, you know what I mean? He followed me on Instagram. I met him at the Rock the Bells the first time, but we was following and talking. You know, that's another thing about the internet. You know what I mean? You could be cool with people, you know, until you meet them. They'll be aware of your music. And, you know, like for Big Daddy Kane to write on a post, a video of mine and be like, yo, like you killed it. It's just like crazy, you know what I'm saying? And so just a lot of legends, man. A lot of big comedians, actors, you know, follow me. I appreciate all of that.
So what year did you actually start rapping?
1990.
In 1989, I supported Big Daddy Kane in concert in London.
Wow.
So what I'm saying is like there's
Yeah.
some kind of connection always there. Like we're sat here, we're talking,
Yeah.
you know, you're talking all these things. But I just recently did a show with him again in London at the end of last year.
Crazy.
Amazing performer.
Amazing performer, yeah. Like to this day. I didn't think when I was in, I think, 3rd or 4th grade when I was trying to memorize the BIGDADDYKANE. You know what I mean? I was like, that was
Not like
amazing to
any
me.
or
That right, like when I'm 46, that he'll still be doing this. I didn't even think that far. And still killing it. And then he still got all his hair. Like that's crazy. I've been bald. I cut my hair bald a long time ago. But he still got like he could have the flat top or the fro, whatever. It's crazy.
To know that we've been through those experiences and we've seen these people growing up. Now we're sitting in a room with yourself and you're down the road from them, and do you know what I mean? It's for me, it's surreal.
It's amazing, man. I like Craig G. That's my brother too, man. Like, you know what I mean? I rocks with the Juice Crew, man. I love Biz Markie music, you know what I mean, and him as the character. I just seen the documentary. It was really good too.
Yeah, that was a really sad loss to hip hop. Like, see him, DMX,
absolutely.
like.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually cried when Biz
he was still DJing everything. What really got me, I was trying to hold back tears at the end of the joint when Craig G said the rhyme for him. It was just like that shit was real, man.
You know, I was just saying that we done the show with Big Daddy Kane. You have to go back online and watch the clip where he's talking about Biz.
Yeah,
it's like it's one of those moments.
Man. Rest in peace, Biz Markie.
100%. And DMX and so many more. So many more. You done an album with Marco Polo as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
Right.
The Execution.
Tell us about that.
That one dropped in 2010. And I'm gonna be performing in some of those joints at the next show at Tone's Coffee Shop in High Wycombe. Yeah, man, that was a perfect album, man. That's one album that stood out for me with Duck Down. That was on Duck Down too.
You know,
Marco is a really dope producer.
In one of your lyrics, you say you didn't sell crack no more. You sell bars.
I wasn't a big crack dealer. When I did that, it was later. My thing was selling weed.
Okay. And so why'd you say crack then? Why not weed?
I sold a little bit of crack. I just was saying I don't sell crack no more. I sell bars. But it wasn't nothing serious. Like I was selling keys and bricks and shit like that. My thing was selling weed and the occasional robberies and shit like that. But that's what I was known for. But really was marijuana. And I know the whole neighborhood. They knew me from being a dope rapper and just living in the neighborhood. And so my clientele was good. I know how to bag my shit up right, and I was getting some, good connect with the weed, and That was my thing.
Were you doing that to fund the music, or were you doing that just
No, I was
because?
just doing that because I needed money and I needed food. That's what it started from. Yeah,
Right, it was
I
survival.
was a teenager, so
Right.
yeah.
So you're a teenager. Someone else is helping you finance things. So why did you need to
I
do
didn't
that?
have nobody else finance
Oh, really?
things. Yeah, I mean, my mother worked. She was a waitress in a bar, so she didn't make that much money. She might make $60 in a night or something like that, or sometimes. And she worked in different bars all over Brooklyn. And she started off in her father's bar. My grandfather, he had a bar called the Taste of Honey. You know what I mean? And so she was working there, and then she was, going on to different bars working and stuff throughout the years. And so that's what she did. But so she couldn't buy me all of them expensive clothes like $100 sneakers and $60 jeans if she just made $60 that day. You know what I'm saying? Me and my sister used to go to the bar, and I used to get money from her tips to buy Chinese food or Hero and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And my father wasn't in my life. My father passed away when I was 10. And he used to drink. He was alcoholic and he was on dope. And so he passed away when I was 10. I think he was 35 years old. So it was just us, you know what I'm saying? And that was it. So I needed to make money to take care of myself.
Some people, yeah, fair enough. They do it because they want all better things in life and so on. But to
Yeah.
some people, it is genuine survival.
Yeah, it was really, yeah, that's basically what it was. I was getting older and I needed to eat more and I couldn't eat as much as I want. Like I got to wait for my mother to give me money to eat. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to eat 3 times a day. I might eat once because I'll just be outside all day. I'm running around, riding bikes and, just being in the street. And so I had to find some way to take care of myself. Like I told you, when I was older and I was working those jobs, I never wanted to just be that. I wanted to be MC. I was still an MC at that time. So that's why I really went with the weed because I know that was more safer than the crack. Because I know a whole bunch of a lot of people around my way was doing that, and they was doing time. So I was trying to staying away from that. You know what I mean? I did that a little bit. Like I would just get an 8 ball for $100 and make $200 and buy another one. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't that serious, but so at the most when I was selling weed, I was selling like uh almost a pound. You know what I mean? Or so I had a pound at one time. You know what I mean? But and my block, it was heavy drugs, heavy crime, and at that time it was a lot of people. It was 2 weed spots on my block too, and I was still making money at the same time as they making money. You know what I'm saying? And when they closed, I used to stand in front of their spot and get their customers. They'd be like, "Yo, it's from King of Kings." I'd be like, "Yeah, it's the same shit." You couldn't be a hustler if you wasn't a certain type of person. Cause you get the fuck up off this corner, I'ma smack you like you a sucker. You can't sell no weed over here. You know what I'm saying? And so, and it was a block thing. Like if you didn't live on a certain block, you can't just go on somebody's block. So I lived on Kingston, and I started off, hustling for one of the older dudes out there, and then I just got my own shit. And he was, upset like, yo, because I was a good worker, and so I ran off the clientele that I had with him, you know what I mean? And I started selling my own shit.
So Duck Down
Yeah.
and Biggie, there was some kind of a beef thing going on at one point as well. What's the story behind that? I know
That was
it, but
before my time too.
okay. But
That
but
was
still, you
before
must
me.
have heard it. Like you must have heard the story. So
Yeah, but I still don't know exactly like what went down and why it went down. It was just I never got into that. I just came in and after that was over, I started doing my own thing.
drill music, how do you think that's affected like artists like yourself?
That never affected me. Nobody's career or music affects me. Like I just do my own thing. I'm in my own lane and I make my own money the way I make it, from my music. So nobody's another genre of hip hop never affected me.
What do you think about of the drill scene now?
I don't know too much about it. My oldest son, he put me on to a lot of rappers that was drill rappers and joints that certain rappers I didn't dig their style or whatever, but some of them I know they was really good.
Do you know anyone that you could look at and say, yo, I really love what these guys do?
I don't know because I be doing so much of my own music. I don't know who's what artists are some what just certain artists that's considered a drill rapper to say like, you know, this drill rapper and this drill rapper, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really know.
It's so difficult for people to understand that when you're an artist yourself,
Yeah.
you're either recording, writing,
Yeah.
memorizing, touring,
And family man too at the same
and
time. So
family
it's a
man.
lot.
So how do you balance the family life with all of that as well?
Because I do it in the home. Like I work from home. I'm always in the house. I take my daughter to school. You know, I walk my dog. My son come home. We watch movies together. You know, me and my wife would go out to dinner, or the whole family would go out. Like we do a lot of family things, and I'm always in the house though. I'm always in the house. If I'm not in the house, I'm just doing something with the music. I'm shooting a video, or I'm doing a show. Like right now, you know what I mean. And I just send money home. But when I get back home, I'm gonna just be there, and it works out for me, man.
How big is your cupboard?
Where I was at before in the Bronx, it was a bigger closet. I get in there, I close the door, I got my light on and everything. It's fully soundproof, you know what I mean? I got the stand with this shit in it too. I got a good, well, I paid like $900, $800 for my mic, a Rode mic. And you know, I record and then I get out and stop it. And I press record, go back in, close it, and start rhyming. I engineered myself, you know what I'm saying? So it's not meant for other people to come in the studio. So it don't matter to me that it's a big studio. I just need to be able to record.
Yeah, like you said, no one really needs to see it, did they? They just need to hear the
The
result.
process is just me. I just stand out there, boom. I'll be like, look, be quiet. I'm getting ready to record. Don't call me, you know, shit like that. And I start doing it.
Imagine,
Yep.
closet.
Yep.
See how some careers can start in it from nothing, and look at what happens. 20-something plus albums.
Yep.
The music that you make is really hard hitting.
Yeah.
Right now, back in the days, the music that we grew up on in hip hop was really hard hitting as well. And quite a lot of it is, but it also went through a commercial stage.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, one of the groups that was really hard hitting was Public Enemy.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like when I hear a lot of artists, I hear a lot of artists kind of being hard hitting, being lyrically skilled, and all that kind of stuff. But do you ever feel that the presence that Public Enemy had is missing in the game now? But like, you know, because of the message and all that kind of
You
stuff.
know, it's a few different artists that's I can't think of the name right now, but it's a few different conscious rappers that's strong with it. You know? And so nah. But you know, Public Enemy is Public Enemy. So, you know, you might not get another Public Enemy, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's other rappers that's conscious and they strong in their own right.
Those were the days when, like, even though I was an artist and whatever, because I wasn't making records, I could easily memorize other artists' lyrics.
Yeah.
Do you memorize other artists' lyrics now?
Not
or?
now. Like sometimes I do. But you know what? People don't know about me. I'm a big R&B listener. I listen to R&B and I'll be listening to like Raheem DeVaughn or just a bunch of different new R&B singers and shit. So I be, you know, I memorize those lyrics better. Like I listen to a lot of rappers today too, and I hear some shit, but you know, it's mainly like some of the old, like some of the rappers that been out, like well, album that I know now is that Mount Rushmore album with Snoop, Too Short, E40, and did I leave somebody out? Snoop, E40, Too Short, and Ice Cube. Yeah, so like I love that album right now. I know a lot of them joints off that shit.
But you know what? There's so much music out there now. It's so difficult to keep on top of it.
Yeah.
You know, you can be.
I was listening to the Styles P Havoc album. I know a lot of songs on there. It's a lot of albums that I can't think of right now, but yeah.
With not being able to kind of check every album that's going out there at the moment and everything. How do you get to kind of know who to take serious, who not to take serious? Because there is so many artists out there now.
Yeah, well, I just listen to if I like it, if the lyrics are good, or sometimes you don't even have to be a good lyricist. If the record is fun, I love it. Yeah, if it depends on, you know, what they saying and how they say it.
Right, but what I'm saying is sometimes, so say you go on Instagram, for example, and you see a sponsored ad, right? Or you see a picture of someone's going, yo, check out my album, and here's the album cover.
Yeah.
But you never act, because you don't recognize the person, you don't even give them the chance to see if they're good.
No, but see, what I do is when I be on Instagram, it's a lot of, you know, somebody might post a new artist. Like it was this new artist. I just started following him, and he's rhyming like hanging out the side of a train. Like the train is going to camera's here, and he just killing it. And I was like, oh shit! Like, and I follow him, or I follow a lot of new artists like that. And then later on, I'll see them on my timeline, and I'll see something else that they got. You know what I mean? Like what's the group with Razcat's sons in it?
Oh
Coast
yeah,
Contra.
yeah.
They're dope, man. I seen people reposting their stuff, and then I found their page and followed them. And I just stumbled upon a lot of new dope artists, and I just follow them. But sometimes I might be listening to Spotify, and then it'll go into a song from some other artist I never heard, and I'll be like, oh, yo, this is hot, and then I go check that album out. I listen to the album.
In all of that, what you just said is you prefer listening to R&B to
Yeah,
hip hop.
yeah.
Why?
I just love it, man. I can't sing or nothing, but I'll be singing the shit out of some songs. Nah, for real.
All right, so
Just love 'em. I
give
love
us a
R&B.
chorus from one of your favorite R&B songs. Go ahead, sing it.
Oh, one of my favorite joints is what's his name? Damn man, uh, Anderson .Paak. He got a joint with Smokey Robinson, and we like, do you want to stay together? I think that's the name of the joint. That joint is tough, man.
All right, so you're gonna sing a segment of it.
Nah, I can't sing it. I can't sing it. Or Raheem Devon's Mr. Midnight. That joint is crazy too.
You know, we spoke about Detonate earlier.
Right.
How did you meet?
How did we meet? We met online.
Okay.
It's like I met with a lot of different producers, like Kyle Itachi and stuff like that, and or rappers, and we just we vibed. We was talking about music, and I think we did a song together or something, and then we started making an album. You know what I'm saying? And it was perfect. And he was shooting his parts of the video out here, and I shot mines, and then I got to edit it. Like I said, I be doing, and then we finally met. I think when he came out, when he came out to America.
No, before Amsterdam.
We met in Amsterdam. That's where it was. I had a show in Amsterdam, and it was close
One
to where
second,
he was
come
at.
in for this part.
Yeah. You tell
But he hasn't got a microphone. So, but just stay here. Say your piece, and you know what? Let me give him the mic. just hold it close.
So it was MySpace originally. I think that was the platform. But then when we was in Amsterdam, that's where the first initial meet was. I'm trying to remember what you was doing at the time.
I was out there doing a tour for.
Was it the Big Ape thing?
I was out there doing a tour for an EP that I had with the promoters that booked me out there.
That's right.
And so he came to the album release, and then that's when we met. But we had already did the album and everything.
At the time, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We was recording at the time. We had more than that. We had about an album and a half, I think, during then.
Yeah.
And then after that, got to the second album, which is about to come out now as well. Or working on in the background. So.
Yep.
How does it feel like you hooking up with Rusty and to get on with what you're doing?
It's almost like when you're younger, you dream of things like this. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. This is gonna happen. I'm gonna connect with legends and stuff. But to actually be making an album or albums with someone like that is mind blowing. It is. I guess like when I hear him sometimes talking about Sean, I feel the same way. I'm like, yo, Rusty put me on in a different kind of way. You know what I mean? Obviously, I've got connections with different people like Fourth Disciple, but as far as artistry, like making a whole album, I ain't never really done that before until I met Rusty. So
yeah.
Salute, man.
All right, wicked. Thanks for jumping in on that, man. It was good to
doubt.
hear from you. That was high praise for him to be able to compare his situation with you to
with
Sean
P.
Price. Yeah, that's how do you take that?
Yo, I mean, I'm on it, man. That's what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying?
I always believe if you can change one person's life through your work, then you've done something right.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But I'm sure you've done that to quite a few people.
Yeah, at the show the other night, a guy was like, he had never heard of me. He was like, he called himself Bertie. He was like, Bert. I was like, yo, I'm gonna say it with the English. I'm gonna say your name is Bertie. But he was like, nah, just say Bertie. And I was like, all right. So he said that his mom's passed away recently, and he'd been staying in the house, and his friends pulled him out and was like, yo, come to the show. And he said, then when I seen you perform, and you made my day. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, that was dope, man. So I appreciate that. And people always writing me, telling me like they going through things and my music got them through, or they was in jail listening to it, and so I heard that a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Have you ever been approached by any major labels to sign anything at any
Nah,
point?
nope.
If it came, would you think about it?
Yeah,
Why?
if it was the right deal, and if I was still able to have my freedom, then I would do it. But I wouldn't want to be locked into anything like a 3 album deal or two. Or, it depends on what the deal is. You know what I'm saying? I would have a good lawyer with me, and I want to be able to keep my publishing. And I wouldn't. It would have to be a real good deal for me. But if they couldn't do it, then I couldn't do it. You know,
Yeah,
it
look,
depends on what the deal is. I don't do, I'm not with the just give me a bunch of money right now and but they still taking everything in the long run. I'm not with that.
is it just about that, or is it about them basically having a different kind of agenda that maybe just doesn't suit the artists on the street level?
Yeah, that too. That too.
I mean, they just want to make their money. It's business, right?
Yeah, yeah. Everybody is in it to make money. So
I mean, I always look at it like this. I feel like they've got loads of buses lined up, ready to throw you under. Like
right,
every
right,
person that
right,
comes
right,
along,
right.
I got a bus for you. I got another bus for you. I got another.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? I mean, some people get lucky and some don't. But I just feel like at the same time, the kind of music we do, I don't think there is any major deal like
Yeah, not for
suited
that.
to us.
Nope.
Why did you go with Duck Down and not set up your own label?
At that time I couldn't set up my own label. Like when my manager Errol, when he introduced me to Sean, I couldn't put my own record label together. I didn't even know where to start. I didn't have the money. You know what I'm saying? I was still an artist trying to get put on, you know? So that was the perfect opportunity for me.
Okay, so do you think the money was the only reason?
Yeah, because I didn't even know about starting an independent label or nothing like that
From what you
at
just
that
said
time.
there, the money is not the issue. It's you not knowing.
It was more of that, yeah, but still, you still need money to do it, though.
Well, let me give you a scenario.
Yeah,
In 1989, I started my own record label that I planned from 3, 4 years before that. And I started with £8.79 in my account. That was like $15 at the time.
yeah.
That's what I started with.
How did you do that? What did you use that money for with $8?
I played a little trick with the bank. Like, so what I was doing was I opened a bank account with £8.79 in my account. That's all I had.
Yeah,
So I opened the bank account. Then I went and borrowed £10 from a friend, and I put that into the account so I saw movement. I took the £10 out and borrowed £20 from another friend and put the £20 in, so there was constant movement and it was activity going on every day. And the
yeah,
bank manager was seeing the activity until eventually I turned around and I said to him, "Can I get a loan?"
right,
And because he saw the activity, even though there wasn't much money in there, the
right,
activity is what was getting their attention. And because he saw the activity, I managed to get a loan enough to put the record out.
right, right.
Right?
Yeah, so it was
So
the loan.
yeah, it was the
It was
loan.
the loan.
But what I'm saying is, even though we had no money, we figured
Yeah,
out a way to kind of work this to get to the point of getting the
yeah,
loan.
yeah,
You
that's
know what I'm
true.
saying?
It was still, but you still had to find a way to hustle that money up.
Yeah, but
So that's what I'm saying.
you know when
I didn't have a way to hustle that money up. Like like how they say, it's not who you know, it's what you know, or some shit like
yeah,
that. You know what I mean?
no,
Like
it's not what you know,
I
it's
didn't
who you
have,
know.
yeah, it's the other way around. But still, that's relevant to this. Like I didn't know anything about how this. All I knew was I was a rapper at that point, so I didn't know, and I wasn't thinking about starting a label. I was trying to get a record deal. You know what I'm saying? So that was my aim. I was trying to be at every event and every show and rhyming, trying to get noticed so I could get signed. You know what I'm saying? So that was my whole thing.
Be at every show and rhyming. I mean, how much of that did you have to do?
Well, I was doing that for years. I was just started from in the streets, just being in ciphers and going to block parties and getting on the mic when anybody rap and making my name known in the street. Because there's a lot of rappers that was known throughout New York City, but they didn't have music out, but they was legends basically. You know what I'm saying? Like I heard about a lot of people before I even met them, and I was hearing that they were so great. You know what I mean? So I was making my name like that first, and then I was starting to I was getting in the studio and making music and trying to get record deals, and I was going to all of the labels like. and I didn't get a deal from nobody. I finally got a deal with Select Records with DR Period. He had Rock Boy Records. He had his own label, and I was signed with him in Select Records. And then that album didn't work out. And I just got out the contract, and we parted ways. But DR is still my man. That's my brother right there. And that was before Duck Down. And then I got with Duck Down, and but I didn't put out an album with Duck Down when I first got with them. I was doing songs with them. I was featuring on albums and compilations and projects, but I didn't put an album out with Duck Down until 2008. You know what I'm saying? I was throughout all that time, I was doing mixtapes, singles, and shit like that.
The message that I'm trying to get across here is that it's not an overnight thing. You
Yeah,
don't
it's
just one day
definitely
go.
not. Definitely.
And there is a long process.
Yep.
And then it takes a certain kind of character, a certain type of personality, a certain type of mental strength, and all that kind of stuff to then carry you on into what you ended up doing as a permanent thing, which ended up at some point a decade or so ago making you secure financially to be able to be an artist.
Yep.
So how would you describe that time where you were building?
It was rough. I was doing I was working everywhere. I was in the butcher shop. I was with McDonald's in my early 20s. But my main job that I started doing later was security. Like you go get your security certificate, then you get the license, and then I was doing security. They had me like in the project buildings where it was dangerous. Just being security. Until I started working in like corporate places. I was working in a bank. I was doing security in there. Then I was in like places like that sell hair products like Origin and Estee Lauder. I was doing shit like that. And that was an easy job for me because I was, either I was working the night shift from 12 to 8 or I was working in from 9 to 3 or something like that. And just standing up, that's the easiest job. Or telling people, I got to see your ID before they walk in. That was easy. So I was doing that.
Did you write any of your albums while on the job doing your security?
Yeah, a lot of albums like that. I think I was doing that around with the first album.
And do you do your own productions as well? Because you
No,
said...
I wish I did. I never learned how to be a producer.
Okay.
Nope.
But you've got the equipment, so all you do use
Yeah,
the equipment for is to do the vocals.
I could buy equipment to do it. I need to buy a beat machine and start messing around.
But what I'm saying is you've got your closet,
Yeah.
right? And you've got your studio in the closet, but that's mainly for vocalizing things.
Yeah, just for recording.
Do you ever regret not getting into the production side?
Nah.
Yeah, you got producers on tap, right?
Yeah. I got people throw me beats all the time from everywhere. So.
Do you know who I think would be good with you? Stu Bangas.
Yo, me and Stu Bangas gonna work on the album. He already sent me a pack.
You're joking.
He sent me like 13 beats. I got them on my phone too.
Oh,
we posted it that we getting ready to work on the album.
Oh, really? I haven't seen it.
Like a month ago.
Okay, yeah, that's
man.
sick.
Like Stu Bangas, he does his he plays beats and he be like, who you could hear on this? And a million times, I swear to you, people would always I'll be looking at the act and it'd be a Stu Bangas playing his shit. And I'll be like, yo, all these shits is dope. And I forgot what it was. I think he produced the song, him and Eric Bobo from Cypress Hill. They produced the song for me and Psycho Les on Psycho Les' latest album. What's the name of the song? It just dropped like a few months ago. And so then after we put that out and the buzz was going on with that, then we spoke about doing an album. It's just that I'm doing this tour and this right now, but when I get back, I'm going to get to that.
Are you going to get Chino one day?
Who's that?
Chino XL.
Oh, yo, it would be perfect to get Chino on the joint. Hell yeah. He's a monster. He's a monster with that shit.
Have you heard his album, God's Carpenter?
Yeah, everybody was talking about that, and then I finally listened. I didn't hear the whole thing, but from what I heard, it was fire.
The only way I can think to explain how that album hit me is, like when you got a gun, right? And you fire a bullet.
Yeah.
And that bullet is like flying powerful, like, it's going straight at certain speed. And at some point, it has to slow down and dip. And if you fire it, this does
shot
not
never
stop.
drops, right?
That never drops. That bullet's just constantly going.
When you got production that you really like, and you gonna really, put your all into it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, that's that match made in heaven right there.
It got to that point. Rakim's my favorite MC of all time.
Yeah.
Ultramagnetics are my favorite group of all time.
Yeah.
That Critical Beatdown album is my favorite album of all time. But when he dropped God's Carpenter, I was just like, wow, it just doesn't slow down at any point. It's
Yeah.
just even the calm songs are powerful. And I'm there just kind of thinking, wow, is this potentially my favorite MC
Just
of all
blowing
time
your
now?
mind. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm there literally
Because a lot of
contemplating between,
MCs get better with time too. He's always been
but I'm
dope.
literally sitting
But
there
he,
with
yeah.
Rakim's name on one piece of paper and Chino XL on another game. Wow, which one?
Ah,
But
but see, that's the type of effect he was looking for.
yeah, he got it. He
Yeah.
got it off me, you know what I mean? And I love Rakim. Right? I named my son after Rakim.
Yeah, my favorite Rakim album was the which one was that?
Well, Follow the Leader.
Nah, the sock with the one with the 18th letter.
For me, it was Follow the Leader.
Yeah, Follow the Leader too, and Paid in Full. But when the Saga Begins came out, I was like, that was it for me.
Yeah, he just took lyricism to a whole different level. Do you know what I mean? And then after that, you had the likes of Pharoah Monch, Chino XL, people like OC and all them coming in, and it became lyricism with flows in a different way now as well. And you're now caught up in that mix.
Yep.
Yeah. So
So
how would you do?
all of those artists I speak to all the time. Shit, like OC, Pharoah Monch, I love them dudes, man.
Where do you expect people to see you, within that mix?
I just like to be named, spoke of in the same sentence. You know what I'm saying? It's an honor. You know what I mean? And sometimes I'm featured on songs with them. When somebody pay for a feature, they get me on a song with them too, and so that's even better for me.
You did a song called "See You Win."
Yeah.
Now the thing is, when I was listening to that song and I was watching the video, right, I was getting flashbacks to how many people I hear constantly going through those kind of emotions,
Right.
right? But at the same time, I feel like people don't really support each other in the way they should.
Yeah, they don't.
So do you want to talk
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah,
And
but
why you
I'm
wrote that song in the first
because
place?
when I write certain concepts to beats, it's just what the beat told me to write. Like seriously, like sometimes I hear a beat and I'll be like, this is a club song, or this is a song where I'm gonna talk, or this is something where I'm gonna pop shit. You know what I'm saying? And that one just I thought of that, talking about because I'm a very genuine person, man. You know what I'm saying? So when I love my people, and when they doing whatever type of thing they doing, but if you could be a janitor, or you could be picking up trash on the street, or whatever you're doing, I just want to see you win. And so that's why I made that song, man. I was like, yeah, this would be a good one.
The obvious message is obviously you want to see everybody win.
Yeah.
But it's got to be deeper than that, right?
Support your friends, man. Support your friends.
Why do you think people don't?
Some people are jealous, like I was saying in the song. You know what I mean? Some people are jealous and they don't, or some people are not happy with the way their life is going, so they can't give you that support because they don't have it. You know what I mean? They don't have it in them to do it, or they don't know how to express that.
How does that end? Where does it end? Because that
I
jealousy
mean,
is dangerous.
that's just the nature of certain people, man. I guess it's gonna always be like that. You know what I mean? But it's still some genuine people and some
Yeah,
people
100.
that are happy for you when they see you do things, And I know a lot of people like that, and that's who I choose to stick around. You know what I mean? Like I know when things happen to me in my life, I seen who was really there for me a lot of times. So I know, you know what I mean? That's when the chips is down, that's when you see who's really with you.
And this is why I think a lot of groups don't work out as well. So when you see people like, Public Enemy, Ultramagnetics, and they're still together, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Because I see so many groups that basically, because one person's getting more respect than the others, because he's putting in harder work or he's a better MC generally or whatever, it's like the others do get bitter and jealous. And then the group goes into ego issues and then it all falls
That's why
apart.
I'm glad I never did that group thing, man, because I
Right.
got to do my own thing.
So how does that work in the sense of like with Duck Down? Like you got all these other things going on. I mean, I'm guessing there's real good harmony there.
Yeah, I mean everybody is brothers, man. We know each other's kids, each other's wives, and we in each other's lives behind not just with hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So the bond is stronger.
Can you say that in the camera?
The bond is stronger. Wait, that's what you call strength, man. Like right now, I live on the block where Still's been living on for years. I just moved over there. I was telling him, I'm like, yo, I'm about to move back to Brooklyn. And I said, I think this was on your block. What block you live on again? And he was like, yo, that'll be crazy. And it happened. I moved. And that was for a reason, you know what I'm saying? So now we right up the block from each other. I'll be walking my dog, his wife be walking her dog. Cause I just got him on one of my projects I was working on, and he was like, "You want me to come there, or I could just do it there?" He ended up
Yeah,
recording at
actually,
his spot.
I guess when you're working with people in Europe and Japan and wherever,
Yeah.
then it's going to be difficult for them to basically record in your closet, right?
Yeah.
So,
They record whatever they
right,
record
but
at.
when you're working with people that live local to you, do you get together and do it in studios and stuff, or do you still send
No,
each other
I only
files?
do that if I'm doing a collab with somebody and they actually want me to come to the studio. Like they
Right.
were like, "Yo, I want to vibe out with you. Just come to the studio." But if I can help it, I'd rather just stay home and do it because I feel more comfortable, in my own studio. I'll do it like that. But if that's what they want to do, I'll come through.
So, say you got, your what you call strength track. Was that
Yeah.
done in a studio, or everyone sent their verses in?
Well, no, actually, me and Rock recorded that together in a studio in Brooklyn. Shout out to my man Zoe. He engineered that, and we was, when we was putting our album together. So that's why the song starts off with 2/16s, and then everybody else is rhyming like eights, because we just did our two verses. It was supposed to be just us two, you know what I'm saying, and then everybody else got on it after that, and that's how it flowed out. Drew just sent the record to everybody, the instrumental and the reference track, and then they put their part on it. So everybody else recorded wherever they recorded at.
I think the way you did the lineup, who followed who, and that was perfect.
Right. Yeah, that was Drew and them doing that. They set that lineup up.
That was sick though. The way you came in with
It
a
was
punch.
perfect, man. And then that's when we did the video, it came out even better, man. I knew everybody's part. Because we was at the shoot, everybody ain't know their part, but they like, "Yo, Russ, you know everybody's shit." 'Cause I was saying it while they was saying it.
That's what I was saying earlier about memorizing lyrics. So how did you get to memorize everyone's lyrics?
Because I loved the record, man, and I was like, "Yo," and I was still proud to be a part of the camp. You know what I'm saying? And it was amazing, man. Then we had T-shirts, boot camp T-shirts, and it had me in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "Yo, this is crazy."
So what is your proudest moment working with all those guys, boot camp?
Probably that was one of my proudest moments right there. That day when we did that video shoot at the Forest Hill Stadium. That was one of my proudest moments right there.
Did you have to hire the stadium to do the shoot, or they just opened the doors and said?
I think they did it because we was performing there, and I don't know the whole situation how it went about, but they had the whole wardrobe. They set us up right, man. We was there for hours, and it was just a dope day. We was in there. We filmed a lot of that too. It's on YouTube. You could watch that, like the behind the scenes of the video shoot.
I know you didn't know me before then, but where was my invite?
Oh man, shit! If I would have known, I'd have told you to come. Hop on the flight.
If I knew that video was gonna be that dope, like the
man,
track and everything,
we had fun.
I would have jumped on that
We
plane.
was in there doing push-up challenges and everything.
Yeah, it looked like fun. It looked like fun, and I feel like sometimes that's what's missing because like a lot of people are bringing in like the personalities that we need in order to and you guys have that. Like from the way Rocky's there, the way he kicks his leg, and the other guys are doing all them. There's a little bit of character going. Yeah, look, cameraman's doing that.
Yeah. All of that shit work out, man.
Everything works out.
Whoever the editor is.
Yeah. But you know what's interesting is you don't need no money to do that. You just need your camera and the people around, and you've got body parts. Do something different with your body parts.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Just like a perfect example of that is the Lost Boys, like with Mr. Cheeks and Freaky Ty, rest in peace. When they was doing they do the thing together like that.
Yeah.
Like that was big, man. Everybody, I even did that in one of my videos with my homeboy. Like that was just something that they had together. You know what I mean? And the world loved it, just seeing that shit.
Did you ever do any breakdancing or body popping or anything like that?
Nah, I've never been a dancer. I used to do this shit, but like,
Wait, hold on, pass it to me. Pass it to me.
but
No, pass it to me. I'll give it back to you. So.
like it was electricity. Yeah.
That's funny. No, because everyone I know that's been involved in hip hop from early, they used to do.
They used to go lock fingers and do this shit. Yeah.
There's levels to being an artist, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So explain your levels.
I don't know. I just went through different levels. At one point I started off. I was on I probably was just like on a party rap type of tip. And then I went to, one time my name was Supreme the Death Dealer, and I was on like that horrorcore shit when that was going on. Then I went to the, being an intellectual MC, and then I just went to being a hardcore street MC. Like I was doing all of that, you know what I mean, as times was changing. So I was going through a whole bunch of different phases.
Do you feel you found the person that you need to be now, that this is it?
Yeah, I'm just me. And I think that's the best way to do it. Like Sean Price showed me that.
By what you just said there, just be yourself. Are you saying you weren't being yourself before?
No, I was being myself before, but I was just I was just being an MC, being versatile. You know what I'm saying? And being able to, because you got to learn how to do different things. Like you got to try, like certain artists show me that I could rhyme like this now, or I could flow like this, and I don't have to just be in this type. And so then I tried it in my own way. Like right now, I could make songs about so many different things, like See You Win, and then I could do the click it back and let it blast repeatedly, and, just, or tell a story, and, I could just do it all.
Basically, over the years, you become more of a rounded MC. You can you can tackle political issues.
Yeah, like that, like the
else.
song I got Black Fist with Pete Rock. You know what I mean? Like I could do it all, and every time it's executed with my style, hard body.
What is the difference between an MC and an artist?
Well, an MC is an MC. Like I was saying, like you just got to be well rounded. You know what I'm saying? And you be able to kill an MC on the mic. You be able to spit a song that touches people's souls and their hearts. You know what I'm saying? You could also make a song that make people think. You know what I mean? Or you could be a artist that brings humor into the song. You know what I'm saying? Or you know how to make songs that make people dance. You know what I mean? It's different. It's a whole bunch of different things. So I could do all of that. Yeah. Once I'm locked into the subject, like I could read up on something and make the song about it. I never knew about it before. You know what I'm saying? And I've done that a lot.
When you write, do you find like you have to research certain things in order to make sure that
sometimes, yeah, sometimes.
Because if you're talking political stuff,
I had a song called Black Hole one time. Well, I was doing an album with Kaio Watachi called Meteorite, and the whole theme to the album was like intergalactic type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I got a song called Water on Mars. So I started reading up on Mars and, knowing that they was a red planet and they had 2 moons. And, I was putting all of that into to the rhyme, and it made it iller because,
What do you find to be kind of your forte? Is it the writing? Is it the recording? Is it the performing? Is it the studio?
It's all of that to me, man. It's because you got to record it right. You got to write first. It's steps. The rhymes got to be written well, and then you got to execute it when you record it, and then for people to love it, like, oh, he killed it, and then you got to be able to perform it right when you on stage, and then you got to be able to perform it in front of the camera to shoot the video for it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to do all of that.
How much time goes into the writing side of it to make sure that you get that perfect
Sometimes
track?
I write fast. Sometimes it comes out. I take a few days.
But do you find the ones that you do quicker are the ones that you prefer more?
Sometimes I wrote some of the best rhymes real quick. Like the other night, when I was in I think in Northampton, I came up the stage, and then a producer that I worked with already, he had another artist with him, and they was like, yo, you want to do a feature? And I was like, they didn't have exactly what I wanted. It was a little bit low, and I was like, ah. And they was like, yo, and then they added something on it, and then I was like, all right, I went, and I murdered it, you know what I'm saying, real quick, because I was so tired, and I knew I had to get back to the Airbnb where I was staying, and so I wrote it real quick, and I was like, yo, all right, y'all could call me an Uber, and the joint came out dope. Like really dope. I did that a lot of times. Like sometimes when I, under pressure, I'm thinking quicker, and it comes out good.
What have you got in the pipeline now? What do you want to promote?
I got a lot of albums on the way, man. Me and Black Silver from the West Coast, we got a dope album on the way. Crazy album, man. Then another album I have done is called Spawn and Blade. This is me and my brother Skanks the Rap Martyr. He's my brother from Crown Heights. He's a dope MC. And that album is fully produced by UG from the Cellar Dwellers. And UG is, if you know he's a dope MC, you're gonna know he's an ill producer when you hear this album. Then me and Rock have an album that's done. It's getting ready to get mastered, and it's called Crownsville. So that's Crown Heights, Brownsville.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Obviously.
And that album, man, the people really don't know they need this album, man. The fans, like, you know, it might not never be another Helter Skelter album, you know what I'm saying? And this was an idea that I presented to Sean, that we were supposed to do an album, and I think he came up with the title. And so I was told Rock one day, I was like, yo, man, I wish I could have did that album with Sean. And he was like, he was like, I'm here. And I was like, yeah. So we did that. You know what I'm saying? And I got another project called Duos. And this is me and Nine. You know Nine. What you want, Nine?
Yeah.
And so Nine came up with the whole concept of everything, and I just rolled with it. And the concept of that album is it's an EP, my bad. And it's called Duo. So every song, we got a song called Mobb Deep, and it's a Mobb Deep theme type of beat, and we pay homage to Mobb Deep. I got a song called Kid and Play, Hard Body, and we got another song called um, um, Run DMC. We got a Meth and Red song. You know what I'm saying? Like it keeps going on. Like we got a Black Star song, and it's crazy. You know what I mean? So, and I got more projects and shit, but I'll just say those for right now.
This is kind of not looking like it's slowing down at any point.
Nah, not at all.
So
And
this
they and they all done. So you know, it's just a matter of when we dropping them.
again, I'm going to go back to that point I made earlier, which is like, this is what happens when you love what you do.
Yep.
There is no complaints. There's just head down, be the artist you want to be, and deliver the goods. That's sick. I'm looking forward to it. If there's any way we can help to promote the stuff, let us know.
Thank
We'll
you.
push it as well. Have you got any final words? Anything that you want to say?
You know, just follow me on social media. On Instagram is Rusty__Juxx. On Twitter is Ruste Juxx 357. YouTube, Ruste Juxx, official Ruste Juxx TV. On Facebook is Facebook/Ruste Juxx. And you know what I mean, just listen to my music, you know, hit me up for them verses or whatever. And I want to give a big shout out. I want to give a big shout out to Bernadette Price. You know, that's Sean Price's wife. That's my sister. And she's doing music now. You know what I mean? I never thought this would be the day that she was putting out music and videos and shit. And so I'm encouraging her. I'm on 2 joints on her album. You know what I'm saying? She got a new single out right now. And, you know, go check her music out.
I was showing my cameraman Bernadette's video earlier.
Yeah.
And the first line that she drops in, I don't
Said,
remember it
bitch,
was, but
your titties is too small to be fucking with a bitch in the bill with big balls, no pause.
when I heard that, what did I say to you, cameraman? I just said, this
your
has got to
titties
be
is
the
too
best
small.
intro to a track
Yeah.
in years.
Nah, she killed that. I already knew what song you was talking about.
Oh, bro! I literally said to the cameraman, "This has got to be the best intro to a
Yeah.
song I've heard, to a
Yeah.
rap track I've heard in years."
Yeah, and shout out to little Sean Price too, man. When Sean told me he was having a daughter, and I was like, "What you gonna name her?" And he was like, "Sean Price." Like the fuck you think I'm gonna name her, you know? And I was just like, yo, I was dying laughing, and that's what happened. Well, you know, she just spelled it different, SHAUN.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. But yeah, go and check that Bernadette track out as well. But if there was a favorite album of yours before we finish, what would you got to name one album that you've done that made a difference to you?
Out of my album?
Yeah, your favorite album, your
I
personal.
can't name one, man. I love all of my
Yeah, but
albums.
there's got to be
man.
one that made a big difference.
I don't know. I would say Hard Body Hip Hop, produced by Kaya Watachi. That was our first album together.
Why is it your favorite?
I don't know. I guess what I was going through at that time and the beats, and you know, a lot of my fans love that album. You know what I mean? Just like any other album, but that one was. I think it really resonated with everybody.
You've done 20 plus albums,
Right.
right? Do you think if you focused all your attention on one particular album, it could have made a bigger difference than all the 20 put together? Like a different kind of attention? Or were you just keen on just album, singles, EP, whatever?
Nah, I don't think so. I don't have no regrets on you know, just making all those albums. I don't even think I've made my best album yet. You know what I'm saying? I could be in a better situation next year and make the best album I ever made. So I don't think so.
Even if you make the best album, it's like at the end of the day, once it goes into the public sector, it's up to them to kind of decide whether that blows up or not. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's difficult. How do you control that situation? You know you've
That's
just
why I
done the
just
most.
keep on making music, cause something gotta pop. You know what I'm saying? They gonna love it. That's why I do so many collaborations too. Cause even if you don't hear me from my album, you're gonna hear me featured on something else that you would like, and be like, that's when I started listening to you on such and such song. So you know. Just got to stay in people's ears. That's all.
I really appreciate you making the effort to be down here. You know, it's crazy to
Yeah.
think that there's people 20 minutes away from us that kind of struggle to get here. But you
Right,
basically
right.
come over from the States and you're here. You know
Yep.
what I mean? So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Thanks for having me, man.
and yo, just keep doing what you're doing with the music. It's incredible, man. And I'm gonna say it now. My current favorite track is What You Call Strength.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boot Camp Clik. And your verse, the way that came in, murdered it straight off.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna start copying your moves now. Like I'm literally gonna start doing all of that in the camera. You watch me.
All right. All right, bet.
All right, guys. So you heard him. Like he's here in the studio, Ruste Juxx. Make sure you go follow him on his Instagram page, his Facebook, all the social media stuff. I'm gonna put it all in the description below. So go follow him. You need to see what this guy is doing because he's incredible. Seriously. Came in here, blew the place up already with one verse, which basically I'm still boom. Okay?
Facts.
Yeah, facts for real. Aside from that, please subscribe to the channel, click the bell to receive the notifications, like, share, get involved in the comment section below. And thanks again for watching. We'll see you soon. Take care. Peace.
Peace. Nice. Yep, that was a good one.